Yeah. Good afternoon. We're going to talk about the newly announced Samsung Galaxy S9. To start off with, I want to say that Samsung sounds really freaking serious about simplification over complication. They mentioned it several times during CES 2018 and during this live stream that just ended. So for all those who are like, it's too complicated, it's too many choices, they know, and they're making an effort to improve it. One of the first things they mentioned was a new optic sensor that accompanies the heart rate monitor to actually measure blood pressure. That's freaking awesome because there's lots of people that I've met and come across that really would love the blood pressure detection part, so that's badass. And as you probably already knew, they did move the fingerprint scanner right below the camera, like everybody was at them to do so. They are using, well, they call it purple, but it's really, anybody looking at it would probably call it pink. It's like orchid purple or royal purple, whatever. But this is a very good move on their part because, like, I've had customers choose not to get a Samsung phone and to get an iPhone just because the iPhone was f***ing pink. So, good job, Samsung. And don't make this go away like you did with the pink S7, the pink gold. In congruence with rumors, they also have a dual aperture camera. That's going to be on the S9 and S9 Plus. That will automatically adjust from f2.5, which is to f1.5 automatically. You will not have to switch it back and forth with a button or anything. It gauges the amount of light that comes in and makes the adjustments accordingly. They built a DRAM chip directly into the camera, which allows it to process 4 times as much data as the camera before it. That's incredibly exciting. This should basically reduce digital noise and just overall improve the power and quickness and everything about the camera. The slow-mo mode, the super slow-mo mode, like everybody was hoping for. It's 960 frames per second, which is freaking awesome. However, it says limited to HD. The HD and not FHD, which is 1080p, so I'm worried that this slow-mo mode, while it's like a huge amount of frames per second, it's only going to be at 720p. I'm not sure about that. They didn't actually specify what resolution it was. They just said limited to HD, which I'm pretty sure is going to be 720. They did appear to redesign the UI for slow-mo stuff, which is really good because the one that they have right now, it's okay, but it's too hard to get it right where you want it to. It's just a little clunky. It needs some refining, which it looks like they've done. One thing that I thought was cool is that now you can put up to 20 pieces of slow-mo in that video. So if you have like a fight or something, not like UFC, boxing, or you know what, let's use dancing as a better example. You can be like, you get the idea. Because before you could only put 2 in there. Another thing I thought was cool is that it automatically can detect motion, so you don't have to tell it where to put the slow-mo. They showed footage of a little kid blowing bubbles, and because the bubbles were coming out, the camera knew and detected that motion and then put that as the slow-mo part, so it took even less work off of you after you actually film it. You can also turn it into a GIF that plays forward and backwards, or in a loop, kind of like the boomerang feature on Instagram. It can also automatically add background music. Another thing I thought was really cool is that you can put that super slow-mo video as your lock screen. That, like, oh my god, that's cool. Moving on, it also naturally includes the micro SD card slot. Oh, and the S9 and the S9 Plus can both do the dual aperture and the super slow-mo. It's not limited to just the S9 Plus. What is limited to the S9 Plus is the dual camera. Unfortunately, I hate this move by Samsung because I want the dual camera, but I kind of miss the size of the S8 because the Note 8's kind of large. The S9 Plus will have a wide angle and a telephoto lens with optical image stabilization added, of course. And the optical image stabilization is also included on the S9. One thing that I was kind of worried about them being hazed about for copying Apple with is the animated emojis. Now, they call it AR emojis because it's using augmented reality. We heard some rumors about this a couple of months ago, really. But one of the things that the S9 and the S9 Plus do that the iPhone 10 does not with their Animoji is create an emoji that's specifically modeled after your face. Instead of just taking a pile of and then moving its eyes and mouth according to your movements, they will actually create an emoji that's modeled directly after your face, eyes and mouth, and yada yada. You can send voice messages with them as well, and they integrated it, or they allow for integration with WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger. They said third-party apps, and they only mentioned those 2, so I'm sure this may extend to other third-party apps over time. But for now, at least Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp, two of one of the most commonly used messaging apps on the planet. You can use the front or back camera to take the first picture that the phone then models an emoji of you after. You can also accessorize it with sunshades, different hairstyles, different clothing. They also made a partnership with Disney, so you can make the faces of like the Incredibles or Mickey Mouse move, and I'm sure other characters will be added over time. Maybe Star Wars stuff? They've kind of spiced up Bixby Vision a little bit now. Bixby Vision auto-detects the translation. The example that they use is that if you're looking at a menu, say it's in another language, Bixby will automatically identify what language that is and then use AR to change that text to the language that you specify, which is freaking awesome. It's something that Bixby Vision and Bixby Translator really needed, and I really hope that it works as well as it does in the demo that they showed. They also say that Bixby's going to auto-recognize food that you're looking at and then collect nutritional facts on there and then automatically add that to Samsung Health to help you better track your eating habits, which I think is pretty cool. But again, because Bixby Vision is so right now, I doubt it's going to work too terribly well, at least right out of the gate. It also has makeup mode, so you can virtually try on makeup. They actually made a partnership with Sephora and CoverGirl and then one other one that I can't remember, but it'll let you try on the different types of makeup, and then if you like one, then you can order it straight out of Bixby, which is cool. For the ladies and the guys, if you so desire. It will be compatible with Google AR Core, which is freaking awesome. Oh my god, like that's, before now, only the Pixels had access to Google AR Core, to my knowledge. Now, the S9 and S9 Plus will have that too, so you can, like the AR possibilities are just gonna Speakers on both ends of the device. We have stereo sound finally, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait to hear it in person. Tuned by AKG, they also use Dolby Atmos, all of the good 3D immersive surround sound spicy stuff coming from a device that looks like this. Also, say you're watching a video and then you get a little notification that comes up on the top of the screen. If you drag that down, it'll create a new floating window on top of the video that you're watching, and then you can reply to it and then go right back to what you were doing. Similar to a lot of what other third-party apps offer you, but I love that it's finally integrated now, so hopefully it'll just have a smoother experience. The home screen finally supports horizontal orientation, or landscape as it's more commonly known. They made a new DeX pad. Now the phone sits horizontally and the screen acts as a trackpad, which is another rumor that had been floating around for a while before the actual announcement. It will be launching on March 16th. The regular two versions, and also they mentioned an Enterprise edition, then they said it's a full package, but I don't really know what that means, so we will find out. Also, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our Scotties on Patreon. That includes Stuart Glover, Kyler, Nick Hawks, Spidget, Sin O, Josh Utley, Shannon Jones, Unit Omega, John O'Brien, and Christopher Caswell.
I stay with my Scotties. My Scotties are my boys. I ride with them. And I put that on the generation.
Also for our Super Beamers, we have Albert and Mr. Patrick Hayes. And for the Beamers, we have Encrypted Bunny and Excelsior. You all are freaking amazing, and I, what's the word? Strenuously extend my gratitude towards you. Thank you all very much. More details will come as we get closer to the launch date, and stay beaming.